Okay, today we will discuss about DBT and its main functionality and its main uses. Okay, let's get started. So, what is a DBT? So, DBT stands for Data Build Tool. It mainly focuses on transformation on an ETL process. Okay, so it can be termed as ELT, extraction, load, and transformation in nowadays. Okay, so why use the DBT? What is the difference between existing ETL tools or ELT tools with this DBT tool? The main difference is existing ELT or ETL tools are taking longer and longer time in this particular area while developing or while testing, while documenting and deploying, and they are not supporting testing and documentation and deploy at one package. But in this tool, it is supporting development, testing and documentation and deployment at one go at one single area, so that the developer's job make very easier. Okay, and it is mainly focusing on cloud databases and cloud database cost structure, computation cost structure, and by keeping in mind this DBT tool was built so that it always optimize the cost when dealing with cloud databases, especially like Snowflake, Azure, okay, and AWS tools. So why it is majorly differentiating is like the development is also very easy compared to other tools. So other tools, like there is a graphical user interface, but still as a developer we need to work on many areas. We need to debug, especially the debugging part, and also the development part will take days and days to develop one single table. For example, if a table is having some 700 columns, it will take almost 7 days to 10 days to develop and to test, okay, and pass the test. But here this can be done in a hours of the time or minutes of the time. That much faster is in the DBT tool. So we will quickly discuss about its functionalities. So what are the data platforms right now DBT is providing, and what are its engines we can call? So it is a DBT core engine where we can install in our local system, and we can interact with the DBT using the command line interface. Okay, it is a free tool. Everybody can download this tool and can can build their DBT modules in this tool. And next is DBT Cloud. This is a trial version is there where it will not provide it will not support all the functionalities which DBT is providing, especially like semantic layers, okay, and some other production related stuff it will not provide. But still it is okay for a single developer. It can provide single developer and single project, so that it will be okay for like a startup company, or like a newcomer, or like a new developer who is aspiring to learn DBT. It is okay to learn DBT Cloud as well. And DBT Canvas is just an add-on for DBT Cloud, where it will make the developer job is easier by dragging and dropping the DBT canvassing. Okay, DBT all the DAG structure or like the module structure can be dragged and dropped, so that the development can be faster. And the DBT Fusion is also a separate engine. It can be installed in DBT Core and also DBT Cloud. It will be there. So this is also will make the developer job very faster, 10x faster I can say. Why? Because like it will auto, like a DBT Copilot, if you worked on DBT Copilot, it will auto show your errors, your code errors, and it will auto complete the code, and also it will help you to fix the issues. It will help you to highlight the issues, and it will help you to show the data in each and every module at the and that particular development area only, so that the developer can test the code there and there there and then, and they can make sure that he is doing the right thing. Okay, so what are the databases it can connect? It almost connect all the databases, the major database like Snowflake or BigQuery or the Azure, Databricks, Redshift, all those things can be connected. So why DBT? Yeah, I said like the major functionality is like SQL modularization. So you can give like some 2000 lines of code or like some 3000 lines of code, existing code. So the DBT, how it will work is like it will first break the entire code into different modules, smaller chunks. Okay, and it will make sure that the overall functionality should not be differ after it is breaking the code into smaller chunks, and it by using the Jinja functionality and DBT functionality, it will create a very dynamic code and dynamic module such a way that the code looks like very simple and very reusable, so that the developer need not to stretch more on the code development. Okay, and instead of focusing entire 2000 lines of code for any debugging or like any performance issues, the developer can focus on particular smaller module where the exact issue is coming, so that entire computations time and the code complexity will also be reduced. And the best use of Jinja functionality. Yeah, I think like the Jinja functionality, it was using in a way that it is like the most it is using, so that the development and also testing, especially the testing and also that documentation, everything will be interrelated to the Jinja functionality, so that it will be using the max of the Jinja functionality, so that the developer can feel like he is doing the right thing, and he always makes sure that the errors are not coming. So inbuilt testing, yeah. So the using the YAML functionality and also the configuration functionality, wherever you write the code for any particular source on a table, there and then itself, the DBT is providing a YAML functionality where you can mention the tests, most of the tests like the ordinal test, referential integrity test, or like values test, or like unit test. All those tests will be by default DBT is giving you, so that you don't need to write a complex logic on each table, and you don't need to run them after creating the tables. You can run the test in before the table actually created. So that is the main advantage. And inbuilt documentation, yeah. So whenever you started writing the code, the DBT, when you compile the code, automatically it will create a documentation using your all the functionality, all the models whatever you created, and also the descriptions, and also the test conditions, all those things it will take in backend, and it will create a beautiful documentation for you. And lineage graph, yeah. In the same functionalities, the Jinja functionality, using the Jinja functionalities, it will create the lineage graph in such a way that you can easily understand how your project is structured and where the data is going, and how the data is going. And load sheet files, yeah, it will load the data, the CSV files in a very simpler manner. Like you don't need to do anything. You just configure the .yml file and place the file in the specified path. That's it. You run the job, it will load the CSV files. And snapshotting, yeah. So the snapshotting can be done in a way like why we use the snapshot, right? So the snapshotting is like, so you want to look back into your data, particular time, how the data was there in some, like for example 10 days back, how the particular record, how the data was there, and you want to look back the data and see if there are any changes happen over these 10 days and where the changes have happened, and you want to trace back that. So for that purpose you will use the snapshotting data. So this also can be done very easily, and only thing is you just need to configure, that's it. You run the job, it will automatically create a schema and it will load the data as a snapshot. And semantic layers, so this is like a separate layer where the BI end users can access the final metric data, and they can query on the data, and you can see the high level analysis okay, on the loaded data. And many features are there, we will discuss in detail. So this is how it looks like a YAML file, and everything can be configured in YAML file, that when we run the job, DBT will automatically, using this YAML file, it will load the data. And how it works on models, like see, for example, if you take a sample SQL or bigger 200 lines of SQL code, it will just simply create a separate SQL files based on each source table, okay. And it will, for example, a SQL complex SQL file is using some 5 tables, it will create 5 .SQL files, okay. And it will be created as a source module, and after that it will create another model, integration model, by using this source model as a ref function. Here it is a source function. These two are like a Jinja functionalities. Using this Jinja functionalities, it will simply get the data from one area to another area. And the very simple command, like if you use like DBT run, it will create a DAG, or like it is a diagram, and it will execute in parallel, and also it will create a documentation for you to check how your entire code looks like, okay. So this is how a DAG will be created once you run the job. So let's say like I created all the sources, and I created all the stages, and I created all the integration, So when you run the DBT run, it will create a DAG, and when you run the DBT docs generate, it will create this doc can be generated. Only just commands. And test. So when you run the job, the test will be taken automatically from the .yaml file where you mention the test, and it will first test all the tests on top of the table, and after that, if all the tests are passed, then only it will create the table. See how easy it is. If some tests are failed, instead of creating table, it will just skip that table and it will go to the next table, so that it will be saving a time for database and entire process, and also developer can easily look back that table. And snapshot and seeds also, as I said, in single run command, in single build command, it will create a incremental models, seed, snapshot, tables, and everything at one single go. And documentation, yeah. So this is how it looks like a documentation. You can travel here all the folders, and you can see all the objects and all the modules and all the tables, their columns and their descriptions. Everything can be shown in the documentation. So this is all on a high level of the DBT. It's a very new tool, and it's a very user developer friendly tool, especially I can say. We will discuss in details in our upcoming sessions. Thank you.